Okay, so yesterday I tried starting this off as a series, but unfortunately due to some, I don't know, I guess I'm cursed. I've been cursed this past couple of weeks. So, the last video I did to start this series did not go anywhere near as planned. So basically I have to redo kind of everything, just everything I said, everything I went over, which isn't much. If you don't know me, I'm an artist / animator, so I try my best to draw whenever I have to, and whenever I don't have to, because it's good practice. It's good practice to just keep drawing if you're an artist, to really never stop. So as you can see, I'm drawing a tiny little figure here. Trying not to get my head in the way of the camera as well. I went over a few things, like what kind of materials I use, what kind of techniques I like to practice. Well, first thing is, my materials that I'm using are just regular old pencils. Specifically, a 2B pencil. If you don't know what those are, this, I don't know if anyone can make that out, but that is a Staedtler Mars Lumograph pencil. And I find that these are really good pencils. They come in a bunch of different categories, anywhere from like 4H to 2B, or 4B even. And I like to go with the 2B for video purposes, because it's dark, but it's also soft. And just give me a second, I'm going to go grab something. I need to get my old eraser here. It's just a regular eraser, nothing special. But, yeah, I do like to use the 2B for video purposes because, like I said, it's soft, but it's also dark. And, like, this here is a B pencil, so B grade. It's not as dark, but you can get it pretty dark. But for video purposes, the 2B is better because it is a softer pencil. That means it's going to be easier for me to erase. And it's going to be darker, so that's going to be easier for you guys to see with a lighter influence on paper. Now, as you can see, I like to make a lot of lines, a lot of sketching, which is why it's called sketching sessions. Now, you're going to hear me fumble around in this corner of my workstation. That's actually where I'm kind of keeping my reference. I have my phone right here, and a good tip if you want to be an artist, pro tip, if you're an artist, never stop using reference. Ever. Like, reference, good artists always use reference. Even when they're not using reference, they have something they can go back to. Just something to remind them, oh, this is... So right here, I'm just drawing very itty-bitty sketches. What I'm trying to do here is trying to figure out a pose and translate it into a sort of Chibi style, I guess. At this point, I should mention that just because I am drawing in a Chibi style does not mean I particularly enjoy drawing anime style. I do not draw anime. Well, I mean I do, but I don't do that personally. I do that sort of... I've done that sort of stuff for commissions, but I've never really attempted to draw anime because it never really... Well, at some point it did attract me to the idea of drawing like that, but really drawing anime outright is not something I do. Like, if I was just to make a simple sort of anime face. I don't know. For some reason, I get a lot of people who say that sometimes my style reminds them of a particular anime. Well, maybe not a particular anime, but just anime in general. And I kind of don't like it when they say that. But I understand why they say that. Because they're probably someone who's seen a lot of anime, that they just kind of see anime influence in everything they watch. And adjust my light there. Yeah. I don't know if you can possibly tell through all that messy sketching, but I've got the basic shape that I want down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start adding some detail to it. I don't really have much of a background part, but I guess I could just go with a basic, really, really basic stuff. Just kind of yeah, sort of like that. I don't know what these heads are going to be, if they're going to be anything. They're probably not going to be anything in the long run, just kind of, they're just there. By the way, if you're drawing, it helps, well, it helps me to have a lot of structure now, and it helps me to put down a lot of these little, like, really sketchy marks. Because what I try to do is, I try to cover a lot of ground with a pencil I know I can easily erase. Like, I do this digitally as well. I just put down a bunch of lines, and slowly but surely I bring out the form of the drawing. So whatever pose or action that I'm interested in bringing out, I find it within all the tons of lines that I've drawn. And I slowly start to bring that out. You're probably gonna know who this is by the title of the video. It's Spider-Man. Or at least it's intended to be Spider-Man. I had an idea to draw another Transformer, but I drew Starscream for the last episode, and everything kind of went wrong with that episode. I had to buy a new camera, so this is a new camera, a Canon, which is a very good brand of camera. So if you're looking to buy a camera, get a Canon. I guess you could go with a Nikon, but I prefer Canon. I fell in love with Canon cameras after I saw the Rebel EOS. That was a hell of a good camera. Now the way I'm holding my pencil is, usually people will hold a pencil like this, if you can see that. And that's fine. That's fine for like little details. And also writing. But if you're drawing, and if you're drawing like this, then it's kind of slower, more deliberate, which is, again, like I said, fine. But when you draw like this, you're really only using your fingers to move the pencil around. But if you hold your pencil like this, like I'm holding it right now, you're using your entire wrist and even your arm to make the big movements. And that's what you want to do right away, is to get those big movements down. So, if anyone was wondering why I do that, or why I'm holding my pencil this way, or if Yeah, just random little pro tips. Can you get that foot right? Like you can see, I'm moving my hand all across the picture and then using my arm to actually move the pencil around. It's not quite the circle I would like that to be. But I can fix that by doing this. Yeah, see, I intended to do that. No, I didn't. But that is kind of giving a cheek there at the bottom. And like I said, I'll just go back, erase, do stuff, make it look pretty. There's another way I hold my pencil, which is like this. And I find that's a nice in-between for drawing and sort of writing. I picked this technique up from a friend. So that's another thing. As an artist, you never stop learning. Well, you never stop learning. Hopefully you never stop learning, even as an adult or just in your everyday life. But as an artist, it's important to pick up other people's techniques, the way other people have done things in the past. Because it's not stealing, it's learning. It really is learning. Like, one of the things they'll teach you is go study the masters. Just draw what Michelangelo and Leonardo and all those and all the other Ninja Turtles drew. Draw like them and slowly start to figure out how they did it and kind of go from there with your own sort of drawing. I'm just going to go into details now. I'll probably photograph the result later because I've got class right after this. Like, I have to stop the recording, actually get on a bus to go to class. I'm also a video game designer, so not a professional one by any stretch of the imagination. Just kind of in the same league as the whole animation thing. Just a hobby, but I want to make it a thing. So right now I am just using the 2B pencil still. But yeah, when I want to finalize this drawing, I'm just going to switch over to just a lead pencil here because one, it's thin, the lead itself. So that's really good for sort of final line work, I find, just for me. For me, it works. Kind of screwed up. And I'm almost out of time. But yeah, just very quickly trying to sketch a Chibi Spider-Man. This is actually the Miles Morales Spider-Man, whom I was kind of hoping would be the Spider-Man we would get to see in a Marvel movie. But, oh well. More Peter Parker. More Spider-Man. That's fine. I like Spider-Man, no matter who he is. I just kind of wish we would have got to see Miles Morales more. And the Miles Morales costume design does not have webbing all over the rest of his body. That's just basically like a wetsuit, I guess. And I did kind of screw this up, but not by much. Not that much, really. Just kind of drawing a hand there. By the way, practice hands. Practice them a lot, because I've seen a lot of people who don't understand hands. Even I have difficulty with hands a lot of the time. And I used to be fairly good with hands. So, I've been doing this for a couple of years, so if I still have difficulty with something, then it's totally fine if you have difficulty with something. Of course, a lot of people watching this probably, if anyone's watching this, they probably have a lot more experience than I do. I know pretty much every artist I know at the college I'm going to is way, way more talented than I do, than I am. That's why I keep trying to be as good or better than they are. And also because it's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Well, if you guys can hear that, that is actually the bell of a clock. There's a clock in this house that tells me the hour every hour, like one of those old wooden clocks. And right now it's telling me that it's time to get the heck up out of here, because I need to get to college. I need to go to school. I need to make video games. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a comment, a like if you want. You know, all that jazz. But above all, if you do have any questions relating drawing techniques or just how I do things and how you could sort of do things, go ahead and leave those. I'd like to try to help anyone, if I can. Yeah. And if this did help anyone, that would make me pretty happy. I'd like that. Just got it.